Over 2,000 years ago, on the shores of the Mediterranean, there was a magnificent city considered the jewel of the ancient world. That was Alexandria, the glorious capital of Egypt under the reign of Queen Cleopatra VII. The city was famous for the greatest library in the ancient world, the towering Pharos lighthouse, and the splendid palaces lining the coast. Amidst all that splendor, Cleopatra ruled from the royal palace of Alexandria, a vast complex of palaces, gardens, temples, and courtyards. This was not only the queen's residence, but also the center of power for all of Egypt. Cleopatra's day often began with the sun rising over the Nile. The morning sunlight shone through the tall marble columns of the palace. The Mediterranean wind carried the scent of lotus flowers and frankincense. From the high balcony of the palace, Cleopatra could see the bustling port of Alexandria. Merchant ships from Greece, Rome, and the East docked daily, bringing gold, silver, spices, silk, and precious stones. The city below was always full of chatter, the sounds of horse-drawn carriages, and the voices of merchants. And above all, Queen Cleopatra surveyed her kingdom. Inside the palace, everything reflected the power and wealth of Egypt. The walls were decorated with paintings of Egyptian gods. Tall stone columns were carved with papyrus and lotus flowers. In the royal gardens, there were large pools with blooming lotus flowers. Sacred animals were also everywhere. Egyptian cats, animals associated with the goddess Bastet, were kept in the palace and cared for as sacred creatures. Stone lion statues stood guard before the grand gates, symbolizing royal power, and the image of the cobra, the uraeus, appeared on Cleopatra's crown, a symbol of royal power and divine protection. After the morning, Cleopatra usually attended court sessions. Generals, officials, and envoys from various countries came to the palace to report and negotiate. Cleopatra was renowned as an intelligent and learned queen. She was said to be fluent in many languages, and often discussed matters directly with envoys without interpreters. In the grand chambers of the palace, important decisions on politics, commerce, and war were made. But as the sun began to set, the Alexandria palace entered a completely different atmosphere. That was when the famous royal banquets took place. According to Roman historians, Cleopatra and Julius Caesar held extraordinarily lavish parties. The banquet halls were illuminated by hundreds of torches and oil lamps. Music filled the air from harp, flute, and Egyptian drums. Dancers in magnificent costumes performed before the esteemed guests. Long tables were laden with fruit, bread, wine, and dishes from across the Mediterranean. Gold and precious stones glittered in the torchlight, making the Palace of Alexandria one of the most luxurious places in the ancient world. As night fell, the guests gradually departed. The noise of the party subsided. Cleopatra would sometimes step out onto the high balcony of the palace. From there, she could see the torches of Alexandria, the ships in the harbor, and the lighthouse of Pharos shining in the night sea. The night breeze from the Mediterranean blew through the lotus gardens, and high above, Cleopatra stood there. Not only the Queen of Egypt, but also one of the most powerful women of the ancient world. A leader, an icon, and a legend that history still remembers to this day. Thank you for following this story. If you love the mysteries and fascinating stories of ancient Egypt, please subscribe to the channel to discover more interesting historical stories. Amphora sparkles.